can conquer hate. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me. Brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. I wanna know what's going what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. Mother, 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 everybody says that we're wrong. Who are they to judge us? Simply because my hair's gone. Oh no, no. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me. Brutality, talk to me so you can see. Oh, what's going on? Tell me what's going on. What's going on? I wanna know what's going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Will you tell me what's going on? What's going on? Yeah, yeah. Oh, mother, everybody says that we're wrong. Who are they to judge us? Simply because my hair's gone. No, no, no. You know we got to find a way to bring some understanding today. Picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me. Brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on? Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's going on? Will you tell me what's going on? I wanna know what's going on. What's going on
in our neighborhood
What's going on?
with our political system,
What's going on?
with police brutality,
What's going on?
with education and healthcare.
What's going on? Yeah. What's going on? 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 Yeah, yeah.
You see me, you see him. My best friend, he hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. Apply not to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy, to take it easy. Feel so easy, easy to love. To take it easy, feel so easy, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time, I won't do it. I think it's 'cause the way you talk to me, know how to say it without making me feel little. You're gracious even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. Said I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy, to take it easy. Feel so easy, easy to love. You make it easy, to take it easy.
We wake up every day to these tests as we strive to be great, and they keep coming, but we gotta persevere, y'all. Yeah, yeah. Thin line, mastermind, mind of the master. Which one of you after? Thin line, mind of a god, mind of a captive. Which one of you after? Thin line, mastermind, mind of the master. Which one of you after? Thin line, mind of a god, mind of a captive. Every minute I fight with lethargy, striving to be godly, with an intelligence quotient exceeding numerology. Scholar body honorary, school of prophet alum, anthropomorphized lessons so I could become the heartbeat of righteousness. The everyday fight to pump the blood of kings, breathe the breath of life, moving up like Confederates in Yankee territories in the 17th century. But it's a thin line between divinity and iniquity. Mason Dixon hitting and complacent decisions, division between symptoms of a phenom and a psychopath, gifted and asinine. I won't erase that vertical line on an incline that divides them. Climbing out this box in my mind, it's like having altitude sickness on alpine expedition. Genius vision never fixed in on the depth below. Focus on elevation where others never dare to go. And brainiacs ain't contained in that receptacle. Incredible creative energy becomes perceptible. The cerebral can be an evil alter ego, a true vow, and you shall become legendary and futile. Development of a god. I sleep between dates on calendar. Escape a date with a challenger. Now that's a blind date in the field of vision, but my other senses reveal I'm winning. Yeah. The thin line, mastermind.
Yes, yes. Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man Sadeek,
And Cassiopeia.
and it is a beautiful, sunny / little cloudy Tuesday
Yes.
in Chicago
Come on.
and across the world. We are so happy to be here with you today, but we need you to join us. We need you to like
Comment.
and share.
That thing.
Say it again, Cassiopeia.
That thing.
Yeah, we need you to do it right now and join us around the lunch table. We see you out there, Shaka. We see you, Jacina. We see you out there, Bootsy. We see you all.
Yes.
We see you on Facebook Live, YouTube. And we have in the production studio with us today, he kicked it off for us. We have our man, Ron Rilla.
What's the word, y'all? What's the word?
What's going on, brother? How you feel?
Great, great.
Happy Tuesday to you.
Y'all too, man.
Yeah.
This week is starting off good.
Yeah,
This week,
yeah.
It's always a pleasure to be on the green side.
Hey, that's what's
It's
up.
a pleasure
that's
to
what's
have
up.
you with us.
How was your weekend,
Powding
brother?
that thing.
It was, man, yeah, super hot.
Super hot?
Man, I was out enjoying it, though. I enjoyed every bit of that sun.
Hey, man, listen.
Yeah.
Me too. Enjoyed the sun.
Yes.
I'm happy. I missed my girl, my co-host. She was
Did
not
you
with
miss
me Thursday.
me?
We called your name about 800 times, didn't we, Ron?
Yeah, you were missed. You were
Yeah,
missed.
you were missed. I let everybody know that even though Zarakia was sitting in, he was sitting in place of the infamous Cassiopeia Uhuru of the Black
Shout
Mall.
out to Zarakia for holding it down. That's my boy right there.
Yeah, he held it down. So,
yeah, I got a chance to tune in a little bit. I don't know if y'all saw me.
we did. We shouted you out, you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely. we saw you doing
I was,
that.
Yeah, doing some powerful stuff. So, I hated I missed that particular episode, but,
No, it's all good.
y'all did your thing. You did your thing.
Yeah, no, but we appreciate you. Cassie is working on. It's going to be some huge things coming, and hopefully we can reveal a little bit more of it on Thursday. Because hey, you all, please share today. Bring some people in the room because
Yes.
today and Thursday will be our last day of our spring programming.
Yes.
We'll be taking a summer break,
Yeah.
and then the green side of things.
Wait,
will
starting when?
Thursday is our last
Last day until
and so
the
June
fall.
June will kick off summer programming here at Wiftaba Media, and we will be returning in the fall.
Yes.
It's kind of like the Cosby Show, right? We out in the spring,
I know,
and
right?
we come back in the fall. So
Yeah.
But we-
we're going to be working and cooking and, getting
all
stuff.
of that, and
Can
we're gonna
you
set
let
up a
me cook?
page.
Why don't you let me cook? I'm sorry. I watched I was
She
late.
can't help it. She's
But I watched, what's his name? Hitman Holla and Cassidy's, battle, whatever.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard Cassidy beat him,
Murdered him.
even though Cassidy is trash.
It wasn't close.
What?
Wait a minute.
Cassidy not
It wasn't
trash.
close though.
No.
He murdered him.
So, Hitman Holla, I love him on Wildin' Out, but he just gonna do it with the emphasis here. And then, let me cook, and I'm gonna come back around that thing and hit you with the emphasis here. It's a lot of show, and he got some nice bars, but they're not specific. So he could have been battling anybody, and all of Cassidy's bars
So he
are
came in
coming
with the
directly
he came
for Hitman
He came with the
Holla.
prepackaged
Well,
bars.
from what I hear, that's just how New
the
York does
general
it, period.
prepackaged.
They're all written,
10
but
bars.
they're specific. It's still, Cassidy's making something for this.
Okay,
Hitman Hollis was like, you can put that on anything.
got it.
On anything.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they tried to run up, and then, Cassidy got them boys. He got a serious bodyguard that's like, Negro, please, I'm way too big. I'll take your whole crew out right now. Anyhow.
Yeah. So
Let
listen,
me
but
cook.
we are going to set up. Yeah, Cassie is we're gonna ask her to do some impersonations Thursday. She got them all. Do Jasmine Guy real quick.
Would you like to take a nice young lady to the ice cream parlor? She said, get your stinky dogs off the table. We mean business around here at Hillman.
Yeah, she's on
5
point.
minutes.
See what I
Boing.
mean? See what I mean? So yeah, Cassie's impersonations are on point, Boosie, and we have about 6 of them we're going to debut Thursday, along with what's happening this summer with the Black Mall Juneteenth. Like we're going to get to a whole bunch of stuff, but we are going to set up. Cassie's going to help me. We're going to set up a Green Side Facebook page.
Yes.
And so we can keep track of you all because we're going to travel this
Yeah.
summer. We're going to do some stuff so you guys can keep track of what we're doing until we return in the fall with all brand new guests, new lineup.
Yes.
We're going to have correspondents from across the planet. You're going to learn about black issues from Alaska to Australia. Because there's black people in Alaska, believe it or not.
Yeah.
They're mostly military people, and it's real cold. But we're going to see what black people do up there other than freeze. Like how's your watermelon up there in Alaska? These are the questions that we want to know. So we're coming back with a whole new season of shows, guests, and we want to say thank you, first of all, because we made it 6 months on the Wiftable
Man.
Media platform. We
I
started
was-
in December.
I was adding this up, right? 6 months.
6
times
months.
4 weeks is 24 times 2 days. That's 48 shows.
A lot of shows, 50 shows, 50 shows. And at one point, we were 3 days a week. I think before you joined.
Oh, wow.
Because we started, shout out to Sister Africa Porter.
Africa.
Africa literally just got back to Chicago. She was in L.A.
Yes.
as usual, of
Yes.
course. I think she stopped through the Dominican and then shot back up to Chicago. We don't know yet, but
A shout out to Africa because I was going to be able to go with her, but I couldn't.
couldn't make it, right? So, yeah, huge shout out to Africa. And she is definitely been a huge part of the green side of things and just in general, what happens on the ground in Chicago and across the United States.
Yeah,
So, shout
yeah.
out to Africa.
Shout
Emmy
out.
Award winner, Africa Porter.
Come on now. Come on. And she like
Absolutely.
5-time award. Was she like Kanye?
She's something else. So, hey, what's up, T? We see you out there. So, again, y'all,
Yes.
please like, comment.
And share.
We need you to do it right now. Come around the lunch table. We've got a great show for you today.
Yes.
Cassie,
yes.
did you know, and I'm sure you do, that today is the 1-year anniversary of
I do.
the death of George Floyd.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
so-
rest in power.
Rest in power, Brother George.
Yes, may you
know what I'm
dance with the
saying?
ancestors. We thank you for your sacrifice because when we talk about that spiritually in regards to George Floyd, his as much as it pains me to say it and it pains the world to have had witnessed it, that was supposed to happen so that there can be some global change. And his transition, and of course him, and let me not downplay the fact that of course he was murdered, but his murder was that transition that was needed to go around the globe and did, for whatever reason, did something different than all of the countless brothers and sisters that we've also lost
Yeah.
because
yeah,
of
absolutely.
systematic oppression and racism, period. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was a watershed moment. It was
Yeah.
definitely a change moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think more so than systematic change, because I think there still has been very little systematic change. I think that there has been very reflective internal change.
Absolutely.
Regardless of color, community.
Yeah.
I think people were forced to look within. Now, what they came up with, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think just that moment,
Yeah.
even for me, beyond, you know what I mean? Somebody got beat, somebody else got shot. Like that moment, it forced me to go, wow, okay, what's really going
Yeah.
on?
The
You know?
people are different.
Yeah.
An institution is always going to fight to save itself and maintain its own integrity. Not integrity meaning morally, but what
yeah,
it
but what
has-
keeps it afloat?
What
like,
what keeps it together
Right.
as it is, right?
Right.
So of course it's going to fight to stay that way, but the people across the globe, like you stated, have internally reflected upon it, and now they see people differently and this world differently, and with that, change will come.
Yeah, yeah. No
Period.
doubt. No
Period.
doubt.
Though the most consistent thing on earth is change.
It's change. Yeah, it's change. Most definitely.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry,
So shout out to
and I mean that seriously.
to the Floyd
Don't have to
family.
worry.
We stand with you in your pain, but also now in your movement past the pain to power, right?
Yeah.
Because they have
Ashe.
they have made some great strides and have taken this I think all with very measurable, very poised action.
Yeah.
You know, I think it would have been, I don't know. I don't imagine what it's like to be in their shoes, but I
No.
really feel that you could get lost in the whole media of it,
Yeah.
the weight of it, and I think that the Floyd family and the other families, there are the Breonna Taylor family, the Taylor family,
The Eric Garner family.
like
The,
the Trayvon Martin family. I mean, you could go back.
Castillo camp family.
Yeah, like all of the
yeah.
families have just done to me an incredible job of being measured in response. When we were on the show with Zarakia, he was talking about the young lady, and I can't remember her name right now, or the baby who was shot in the back of the car at the McDonald's drive-through here in Chicago.
Oh, yes.
But he's working.
Little Pinky. That's, they call her Pinky.
Yeah, he's working with the family.
Mm.
And so what just hit me was, in terms of all of those families that we just called off, is hopefully there is the wherewithal and the surroundings of some type of counseling, trauma counseling, and all of that. That it's not just media and courts and filings and paperwork, but some self-care, some self-love, some ability to talk to some third party or third person in some type of a counseling or a what's the word I'm looking for? Therapeutic.
Okay.
Yeah, therapy is the word I'm looking for, in some type of therapeutic situation. So, our love and our hearts go out to
Absolutely.
all of those families. So, 1 year later, after George Floyd, and I'm sure that, each of you out there in the audience has been reflecting as well.
Yep. And quick second.
Sure.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. Working through some things. It's been a challenging, really hard 36 months for me. So just in a moment of transparency, like, I lost both of my parents.
Yeah.
We've had, familiar challenges. Challenge was within family. But through it all, I'm just happy to be here, sitting with you, able to have a conversation, being able to relate, because depression can be real.
Yeah.
Needing to talk to somebody can be real. I think that, matter of fact, hey, what's up to on cue there? They were talking about this definition of
two back through his name. Go ahead.
Yeah, he got out of jail. We put something on his books. But this idea of hyper masculinity, right, will have you like, I'm okay. Like, it's the whole thing, like, you scrape your knee, get up, dust yourself off, that kind of a thing. So inside of getting up and dusting yourself off, you got to know that it's okay for somebody to ask you, are you okay? For you to assess the fact that you're okay. And it doesn't mean that you're not a man or you're not masculine.
Yeah.
Because, things affect you.
Absolutely.
Right? Around
Everybody.
you. And so that wall, I think we're approaching or have approached the age where we will do the complete healing. Like, I don't think, if you talk about just the modern era, right, and regardless of race or who's responsible, it's like we've been running from self. We've marched, we've protested, we've stood up for our rights, we've tried to keep the family together. We've gone through sayings like, don't let the dirty laundry air out.
Yeah.
What happens at home stays at home.
Yeah.
We've watched, relatives be abused, and it's internal family stuff. And I think we are finally at the age where the healing from within is now going to permeate from, and work its way out.
That's it.
As opposed to looking for surface level or skin deep answers. It's time to heal the hearts. It's time to reach into the soul. And I think that we're there. Yeah, absolutely.
Blessings. And Boosie says, peace and blessings to both of you. You are a blessing to us, and we appreciate you all being here, even in your challenges.
Hey, Boosie, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you. She is a definite green sider.
Yes,
we're going to be
she
working on,
is.
and we're going to
That's
work
my
on those
Sarah.
T-shirts. We're going to work on those T-shirts.
Yes.
You all, and I feel so, I feel bad sometimes because I really depend on Cassie to do a lot of stuff. Like, she's really, the designs that you see, what you see behind the plane, Based African, what you see in the virtual groups. Cassie plays a huge role in that. And so I just wanted to let her know on air how much love and appreciation I have for you, the time you take out, because she's balancing family, business, man, just it goes on and on. But, she's a daughter, she's a mother, she's a soror, she's a friend, you know what I mean? She's annoying. I mean, it's just, she is a lot of things.
The last one's my favorite.
Yes. And I know that. So I just wanted to say that. And as you all, we hope that you all out there in YouTube Live, Facebook Live, you all that are listening, take some time. And amongst the summer sunshine, amongst the summer fun, always look to the green side of things. Always look for what's, how to get better.
Yeah.
What's natural, what's sustainable, what's cultural. Because we are
What's
an awesome.
good for you?
What's good for you? We are an awesome and amazing people. And we want you to know that, we believe in you just as much as you believe in us. And this last 6 months of allowing us to come before you, you all tuning in has been awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. And thank you, big brother. Love you.
Oh man,
We here. We in this. We in this
together. So,
Adria, real quick.
What she say? What Adria
The
say?
way I sing that thing is sad yet hilarious at the same time. Girl, you say it perfectly.
We love it. We love it. Matter of fact,
I want to hear it.
We might create a That Thing T-shirt.
Yes.
That might be the back of the green side T-shirt. On the green side with that thing.
That thing, right? See, he sings it different.
Yeah, I don't know. Cassie is one of those. She is irreplaceable.
Oh, man.
Yes. So, in the hearts, minds, and souls of the people. So, Cassie, I got a question for you.
Whose is on the birthday line?
No,
It's almost my birthday.
I know, but that
I'll
wasn't
be
the
on
question.
the birthday line. Matter of fact,
Cassie's
I need a
birthday is
happy
coming up.
birthday.
Now tell us exactly when
on the
birthday.
last day, because my birthday is June 8th.
Cassie's birthday is June 8th. Cassie will be
Yes.
32 years
Aw,
Gemini,
so sweet. Gemini season,
Yeah.
baby. The air signs are here.
Your
the
birthday
twins.
on a Tuesday?
Is it? It's probably
Club
on
going up on a
Tuesday. On a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Oh, that thing got to be on the front. Okay, too. Can we get some design work going on?
He said it's provocative.
It's provocative. Yeah, I hear you. But Cassie's birthday is coming up on June the 8th. And so I'm going to write that down. I'm good at taking notes. And we'll work on something for Thursday's show. For Cassie's
so
birthday.
sweet. That's so
Absolutely. We want to
sweet,
do
man.
that. But my question was, you think we'll ever find racism in the palace?
Before our season ends?
Yes.
What y'all think?
Do y'all think, or should we come back in the fall with a report?
Might have to.
You said what?
Might have to. I don't think you're going to find it.
It's been tough, right? So there's no racism in the palace. According to the vice president, there's no racism in America.
There's not
Cassie,
even no
where the hell is
racism.
the racism? Can
Can
y'all help us out?
In the belly of Santa Claus.
That's hey. What? Hey, we got to do an expose on Santa Claus. Did you all know that Santa Claus, the entire narrative, was born out of pedophilia?
Yeah, I think I've heard that before.
It really was.
Oh,
So
you
Santa-
always hear about the paganism connected.
Yeah,
to,
yeah, but not,
Santa
you know-
Claus, but pedophilia just takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, so the whole thing about, just so you all know, and we're hey, what's up, Jazzy? See Jazzy out there. Just
Jazzy.
tuned in. What's going on? What's for lunch, Jazzy? What's good and vegan for lunch? Yeah, we want to know that. Just type that into the comments. We're trying to find something to do after the show.
Yes.
So, not paganism,
Pedophilia.
pedophilia. So part of the roots of the Santa Claus lore or story is there was actually a priest who would sit boys and girls. You got to think about this now. What's the one thing, if you old school, what's the one thing that children don't do to their uncles or their aunts when you're small? Like my parents used to tell me.
Don't do,
my
like sit
parents
on
used
their
to
lap.
do not sit, especially if you were a young girl. Now, this is born out of trauma as well, but
Yeah.
do not sit on your uncle's lap.
Yeah.
Or if you're a boy, do not sit in your aunt's lap, right? That was a no-no.
I never heard of the boy on the aunt's lap before, but
Yeah.
definitely girls on uncle's lap.
But definitely the girl on the uncle's
And big
lap.
cousins.
It was an age limit though.
Okay, but
Yeah.
get
I
this
feel
though.
you. I
Well,
feel
at 12,
Like
you're not sitting on.
after-
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
like
after,
what,
after
after
like 3 or 4, I think it was like
something
4 or
like
something
that?
like that. Because I picked up my little cousins all the time. You know what I'm saying?
okay. So the Santa Claus. No, me and you. I'm just. It's
Stop
all
it.
jokes. It's all
Stop
jokes.
it.
But it was
Stop
born out of the fact of the children would sit on the adult's lap, and if the child caused an arousal, they would get a gift. So,
I gotta look this up. That's wild.
I mean, welcome to some parts of European. I mean, is it wild that priests don't marry anybody? And like, it's a whole cultural piece. Like, I don't want to dig into it. I don't want to be emotional about it or get way out, but it's just the reality. I mean, we have to accept the fact that there's some
I just,
things.
right when you were about to say it, I just had the vision of Santa Claus at the mall, and it's a line of kids. Waiting to sit on his lap.
Waiting to sit on his lap.
And
like,
he
why in
talking
the hell
about
would
some,
you be
you've been
sitting-
good.
You've been good,
Have
but
you
that's the
been
whole
good or
root of it.
bad?
Have you been good or bad? And I'm gonna give you a toy.
I was never into Santa Claus as a kid.
Well, hallelujah, Ron. Hallelujah.
That's what's up.
I know. I tell
It
the
probably
story.
was like starting to die, for y'all generation. Where like you probably had about 30% of the population was probably like, man, fuck that. I bought these toys.
I never even had a chance to get that belief.
Yeah.
Like I had too many older siblings and
they ruined
ain't no
it.
Santa Claus. We broke that. They broke that out early.
They like, it's spoiled for me, it's spoiled for you.
Hey, man,
That's hilarious.
I'm just glad you didn't grow up in my generation, and I'm glad it's only a minute left because I told the story months ago. I believed until I was like 12, and I was at Beasley arguing. I was like,
You the one
Santa
that would
Claus
go to the
real.
mall? Did you go to the mall? Did you ever sit on Santa's lap?
Absolutely, I did. My parents were great stewards of European culture. Like real talk. I mean, what else do you want me to say? Like Santa Claus, like we left the milk and cookies out, the whole 9 yards. Like real talk. But it is born out of that tradition. Is born out of
That
pedophilia.
is disgusting.
So think twice
My
while you're
grandfather
taking your
was
niece
one,
and nephew
yeah.
to go get them. Like you finna go. They can't sit on your uncle's lap, but you finna take them to go sit on a strange white man's lap
Right.
at the mall.
right.
Like we have
Pretend
culture
that he's
blinded.
finna give them what they asking.
Give them what they ask for. Like it's a trade
Go
off.
tell that white man. Go tell that white man what you want for Christmas.
Adrian said, I believed it till I found the toys in the attic.
Hey, they sold it so good to me. I could have found the toys
And
and I could have
still-
walked and they'd be like, it wasn't me.
I was that type of kid.
It wasn't
too.
me.
Santa Claus put them there.
Hey, Santa Claus. Well, why would Santa Claus leave them there? Because you had your eyes open and he had to real quickly dump them off in the attic and get out of here. I'd be like, man, that makes sense.
I think so. Like my grandfather, he was like, he was the one that did it all. He had the milk and cookies, and he would even bite a cookie to like seem like Santa Claus
I think
came.
that's
I'd be
when
like,
they ripped that Band-Aid off for me. I was like 4 years old. I'm like, yo, what the milk and cookies at? We not gonna put the milk and cookies up,
they like,
boy.
Hey,
I'm eating these cookies.
hey,
Listen,
the milk and cookies were gone. I woke up, it was a
I think I just caught my grandfather when I was like 10, and then my mom wasn't for it anyway. So it was like, okay, it's enough. We're not doing this no more. It's over with. There's no Santa Claus.
Hey, real talk. So listen, you all, we got to take a break.
Okay.
Ron is hitting us upside the head. What's up?
Let me just say to Tucson,
What do he
Face
say?
ass.
What do he say?
Gemini explains it all. Explains all of what to?
The front of the shirt needing to say that thing. That's what he was referring to.
And Ron Rilla
And Ron is like, yep.
laughed at it.
Makes sense to me. Where the cookies and
Laughed
shit.
at it.
I'm like, who laughed?
Justina, you stay with. Look, you all. Please do us a favor. It's the day before we take our summer break. We need you to like
Comment.
and share.
That thing.
We need you to do it right now and bring some people around this table as we get into our subject matter. Should black people chase the dollar or freedom? When we come back on the green side of things, we'll see you after this break.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
Since 2018, nearly 3,000 tax credit scholarships have been awarded to black students in Illinois to attend private schools that best fit their needs. Now, Governor Pritzker wants to slash this program. In a time of much uncertainty, we need greater equity in education for our families and children, not less. Call your state representative and senator and urge them to stand up for our kids and their future by supporting the Tax Credit Scholarship Program. For more information, visit empoweredillinois.org.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
What are y'all takes on blended families?
Meaning white people? Or what? No, she mean like you got kids, this person got kids, y'all get together and bring the whole family together. I don't know. I have zero experience with it. I imagine it could be challenging. Especially, I think the older the children are, I think the more challenging it could be. I think if it's little children or something, you can kind of explain it to them, and they may like grow up together and kind of in that same space where this is mom, this is dad type thing. But if you talk about older kids where they literally have a mom or dad, another person like that has been in their lives, or when they're older, and you're like, oh, no, this is your step brother, step sister. Like, no, we like 17. Like, I'll bone her.
And if this family don't work, you can just give me to the game anyway. Ain't no other, it ain't gonna matter. No woman will ever be important. I'm not being an ass. I'm serious. In my mind, the value of that kind of a commitment is family. I got that already. So now we just chilling. So you ain't gonna really know my children.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's In It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
Oh, baby. I mean, I know that you're here with me and everything, but since you just left a few hours ago, I've just been going crazy. And I done come to realize one thing. Oh, baby, I miss you. On calling me, and I just need a hit of your love. It's got me shaking and feeling for your touch. Baby, of you I can't get enough. It feels like I done
Welcome back to the green side of things. It's your man Sadeek
and Cassiopeia,
and we need you to like,
comment,
and share
that thing.
We need you to do it right now, and come on inside the room and sit around this lunch table with us as we have this great Tuesday edition of the show. We want to thank everybody on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and all of you out there. We are joined by our green entrepreneur, Mr. Ro Davis. Ro, can you hear us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's up, party people?
Hey.
What's happening? What's up, Facebook, YouTube?
What's up, Facebook,
It's your
YouTube? It's your man.
activist.
Ro Davis is with us today, and we are so happy to have you all. And so for those of you out there, please share the conversation, because we're on the countdown. We have this show and we have Thursday, And then we will be taking a greenside break until the fall, where we will break out with all new programming for you from across the globe. Across the globe. And so we appreciate everything that you all have done for us and just sticking with us through our 6 months, through our introductory phase, through the ability to share on With the Media. And shout out to the whole crew, staff here and Mr. Mays Jackson for allowing us to be on the platform. We're definitely appreciative. So, Ro Davis.
Yes, sir.
We we want to start with this question. We definitely want you all to chime in. We appreciate you all being out there. You and I had a chance to have a conversation earlier, and it made me actually go in and edit the post today because I thought what you were saying and suggesting was very powerful. And I got some questions for both you and Cassie because I consider you all thought leaders in the community. But my question is, we approach this summer, and black people finna get crazy. McDonald's stock is finna go through the roof.
I already have some stock in McDonald's.
I bet you do. Get some more because
and in Walmart
because COVID is over. There's no racism in the United States
or the palace,
and the beach is now open.
Oh my goodness!
And so
can I get stock in the beach?
It's gonna be McDonald's fries, chicken McNuggets, and barbecue juice.
Barbecue juice.
Yeah, not barbecue sauce, barbecue juice, because that's what happens with all the sweat and everything else leak out together from the container. It's gonna be barbecue juice.
You just make it sound so terrible. Please stop.
Anyway, it's going to be quite a summer. But my question to you is, and we had a show, you did crypto with us. You've been an entrepreneur. You have respectively made millions and have been involved in everything from real estate and now into seriously into the crypto market. My question is to both of you, in this era, 1 year after George Floyd, should black people chase the dollar or freedom, or does one lead to the other?
Go
Let me
ahead,
answer
Rob.
that.
Go
Okay.
ahead, Rob.
Well, first of all, I definitely want to thank y'all for being on the show once again. That's a very interesting construct, this idea of freedom in capitalism without capital. And so I really don't know how we could ever be free in America without having the proper capital to survive in America. And so my fear has always been that, as we're chasing racism and chasing dignity, somebody else is chasing the market share of our communities. And so as we become less liquid as a community, as individuals, I think that whether you're white or black, I think that our freedoms begin to diminish. I think that when you broke, it's hard to be free. Somebody dictating how much you got to spend on groceries with your link card. Somebody is dictating every aspect of your life. If you got to borrow money from somebody to survive, they're dictating what you can and cannot do with that money. So I don't know if, as black people, I feel kind of like Jesus in his statement when he says that the poor will always be with us. I'm not saying that we don't need to chase those factors to make us feel better, and not that it's just about a feeling, but I think that we would do ourselves justice here in America to also chase the dollar in concert with our desire for freedom and control. I don't know if it's the dollar, but I would say chase control of whatever assets we can get our hands on. Because it ain't no freedom without assets that you control.
Right? So, as I sat here and thought, so I can be a leader,
But you're a
'Cause I'm
thought leader.
thought
You
leader.
know?
You're definitely a thought leader.
Right. So I'm gonna go there.
Okay, let's
I'm
go.
gonna go
Let's
into,
go.
I'm about to go into the ethos, into the kind of the universal space that is not always tangible and not always easy to grasp. But as you do more self-reflection, self-healing, self-work, and you find all the different tools that help you with that, there's like this common mantra that you end up hearing, because when you're doing a lot of self-work, you're doing a lot of meditation. And, there's so many different schools of thought that, can teach you what to do with the meditation. And meditation is always for divine healing and for becoming your most divine self. And it goes through, a lot of time meditations or these different practices will touch upon financial freedom. And one thing that's always said is you have everything you need. Period. Always. And when you do that work, it will come to you. When you do the work on self, you're then able to do work. You'll then be able to find your path and what you're here to do. And once you get on path, your path is always abundant. So, right? That's very, Cosmo-like talk. But
Real
it's
talk
so,
to me.
but it's very right. It's very real when you actually practice it. It's a tough one. I feel like Toussaint is loading up right now. He ready to load. What? Oh, hell. What can the people do, right? It's going to be the next question.
Let's not focus on Toussaint.
But I know that he poses lots of very realistic questions that I think lots of people relate to. So the chasing to me is not of the freedom or the money. It is for self-divinity. And all those things will come with it. I did not understand that. I am a very practical person. I used to be a very see it to believe it person. I was not the type of person that was visionary. I am an artist, so I can paint a picture and then start to create it. But for those things that said to me, you have a mansion, you have the car, you have the boat, you have the wealth to send your children to wherever you want to send them, whether it's private school or some program during the summer. You have all of the funds that you need to go and buy the clothes to be able to make sure that you look how you want to look when you're presenting yourself. Like, I wasn't that person. It was like, no. I have to work my ass off. I have to sweat. I have to be stressed out in order to get these things. I have to then worry and be scared and go crazy when they're not sitting in my bank account whatsoever. Well, we went to a place of zero. Like, literally zero in 2019. Not even just zero, negative.
Right. And
then sat in that. Let the bills roll past. It took time, but let the stress go, because it said work on what you're supposed to be doing. Get the knowledge that you need to be able to do what you need to do. Stop worrying about them little dollars that you're grabbing onto right now and trying to hold on to, and see the vision for that big ass bag that's coming. No one gets the big ass bag right away unless it's passed down to you, right? So in order for us to be those people that pass that to our children eventually, we have to then start envisioning it and dreaming about it and thinking about it and how we're going to get to it, right? And then taking the time and then having the faith and trusting the process to get it. Everybody has everything that they need right now. This globe is big enough for all the billions of people on it with enough food
It's
and
actually
enough resources.
underpopulated.
There it is.
So,
we
real talk.
have everything. If you focus on self, you stop worrying about everybody else, stop worrying about the white man, stop worrying about your neighbor, stop stressing. Shit will be okay. We oftentimes be like, well, I gotta pay this bill. Stop acting like you ain't missed bills before. Right? Stop acting like it. Stop playing like you ain't skipped out on bills and didn't have it and you figured it out. Now that you know that can happen, stop stressing over it. When you stop stressing over it, then your mind has the ability to hear and listen and create what you're actually supposed to be doing here in the first place. I'll tell you this. It's called A Course of Miracles. So if you're like, well, shit, Cassie, I still don't know. Well, what are you doing to even have your mind be in that place? Here's one for you. It's called A Course of Miracles.
Really?
You know, or you can do the start with the 4 agreements.
That's a great book.
It's an amazing book. Read it over and over again. These are types of tools, and then put yourself next to people who got it. That's the most practical thing I can give you. Whatever lane you're trying to go into it. If you're like, well, my passion is making hair bows, then go next to a hair bow industry. That little girl JoJo Siwa, whatever, man. Millions off of hair bows. Whatever it is that you love to do the most, start doing that shit. Stop using the excuse. Go straight into that. Do what you're supposed to do, and you'll have everything you need. Everything you need. You ain't got to worry about the most wealthiest person that's sitting over there and you think he ate it all up. Bill Gates, although Bill Gates is a billionaire, he does not have all of the wealth.
Not anymore. He's a half billionaire.
Well, listen.
But let me say this.
So,
like real talk though.
Was you about to say something, Sadeek?
She took out. Yeah. So I have a question. And I love the conversation, and I love the thought behind it. And Cassie brings up, as well as you do, Ro, because I want to get more into, because I know you said on the last show, we kind of approached this. You talked about the fact that you had graduated, and not that the quote unquote struggle wasn't important. You just wasn't in it no more. And then you talked about today that Yeshua, because I just refuse to be a steward of European energy. Yeshua said that you always have the poor with you, right? Meaning that there'll always be some element, and I think that leaves room for the self-awareness. Cassie said, don't chase freedom or the dollar, chase divinity. And I love that. Trademark t-shirt coming near you. But that being said, my question is, and I approached this with Roland, and I don't imagine that there is a great answer, but I would like for you all, or for us, to tackle. So in my mind, let's just if you take slavery, for instance, just as a for instance, whether black people, white people, right, take slavery. But slavery was a uniformed institution that affected everybody equally, regardless of what state of mind you were in. So you could have been the priest, you could have been rich, you could have been the pauper, you could have been self-aware, you could have been non-self-aware. Your ass was getting in some chains. So my question is, what is the institutional mechanism, or is there a blanket mechanism for freedom, regardless of the fact of whether you're a priest, a pauper, rich or poor, you're self-aware, not self-aware, right? Because I think that is so, because my question is, if I'm listening, right, the community, the trauma from slavery was uniform. It affected, in this sphere, it affected millions of people, the same way, regardless of what headspace they were in. Whether you graduated from the struggle or not, your ass was in a chain. So is there a delivery mechanism that can universally or equally affect the people just as slavery did? Or do I have to mentally climb my way out individually, even though we were affected as a group?
Ask that question one more time. I
I
got
don't think I can ask it one more time.
my brain. I was with you, and then there was one portion of it was my brain.
It's a difficult question, Cassie. It's a difficult question. It's very intricate. It's not as simply, and it's a very powerful question. But go ahead, ask it again.
No. Go ahead, Ro. You got the gist of the question. So,
well, let me say this, because I think that me and Cassie are on the same page more than not. I agree with her. I think that what Cassie is talking about and what I'm talking about in terms of chasing the dollar, there's a distinct difference. Cassie's talking about the process by which you get out of a poverty mindset and cycle.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about chasing the dollar and being void of the power of self. I would argue that there is no ability to attract the dollar or capacity in the absence of having the power and control of self.
Right.
Which is all the more reason why we have to stop being defined by racism and the vision that white people see of black people.
Yes.
My argument, and I just got to clarify this because I don't want people to think that she and I are on different pages.
No, we're
she
not at all.
Beautifully outlined how you go from nothing to something. Because, I think that when the market crashed, I literally, before it crashed back in 2007, I had millions of dollars. And when it crashed, I was looking out the window for the boot man, the repo man, and anybody in the suit. But and everybody around me was broke. So I literally had nobody I could leverage or borrow money from. And I couldn't write a check to get out of my condition.
Yeah.
The process that I was able to use to get out of my condition, I had to stop worrying about the how and decide what I wanted and let my faith be the bridge in between the 2 points. Because when you can't see a way out, all you can rely on is faith, and you let the universe do what it does.
Yeah.
I'm in agreement with Cassie. What I'm saying to us is that racism is a distraction that has us chasing somebody else's impression of us versus giving us more time to concentrate on that which is within so that we can begin to change everything on the outside. We have to do that individually to affect things collectively.
Yeah.
Now, your question, brother, is can we do this individually or will it require us collectively? Well, I think that it's 2 parts to it. I don't see how we can do it. We definitely got to do it collectively because the issue is bigger than any one of us. But I want to make the argument that there are thought leaders and individuals who will have to lead the way individually for us to pull out of this collectively. So we need people with the consciousness and the willpower to do what Cassie is talking about and what I just said that I did, and then have enough of a heart for the community to reach back and lead the way. Because it's not an easy road to where we need to go. But I don't know if the collective consciousness of black people is going to decide we're going to look within. And it's going to be a few of us that lead the way and other people that's going to follow that magnetism.
So I think, even Harriet Tubman is a real easy example. We love, it's one that people can really, understand, and we love the story of Harriet Tubman and the Underground Railroad. Even though she was the obvious leader of the railroad, there were times when she would come back and certain people would say, no, I ain't going with you. That is their individual decision not to go with the collective group. You still have to do the self-work to then be able to be ready, get past your fear, see a vision of a place that you have only been told exists, is mapped out in quilts and the braids of people's heads, and say, I'm gonna go to this place that may not exist fucking at all. Excuse my language.
Real talk.
Right?
So let me jump in here, because first of all, yeah, you're right. But my question is, and again, like I said, it may not be an answer to the mechanism at this point. And I think that my question brings out the complexity of the issue rather than the necessity of the answer. And so my question is, regardless of whether you could read the braids in the head, whether you saw, you could even conceptualize America, regardless of where you were in your personal journey, your ass was getting on that boat and your ass was going to be in the chain. That's 4. I got to count myself.
Times we've cursed.
We making it happen today, but we only got one more show. But my question is, and I have to be self-reflective because it's just a question that came to me, is regardless of where you were in your personal positioning, regardless of where your personal philosophy was, regardless of whether you were a priest, next to a priest, you had money, didn't have money,
you were
felt
farmer.
poor, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
The chains were for you and millions others.
Right.
So my question is, will there or is there a mechanism that will be equally distribute freedom as slavery was equally distributed? Does that question make sense?
Yes. So let me go here. Let me go here with you, right? Again, it always and forever in antiquity and in the future, and actually in just the loop of time, because there really is no present, no past, and no future.
Got it. We right now.
Everything is
right
here.
now.
It is always self. You can be, right? If we want to talk about the construct that we're in, you can be the richest, you can be Bill Gates, right? Or you could be Toby on the plantation. You both can be enslaved. Enslavement is not exclusive to being physically in bondage. A person, you have freedom from no matter what the boundaries of your environment are, you can gain freedom. That is up to you. Now, the suffering that specifically came with the bondage of enslavement, right, is us addressing, and even the suffering that's specific to us that we still are going through, right, is from what I am learning and believing is breaking of our spiritual covenant, right? And reestablishing that. So all of these West Africans were all enslaved, no matter what. Well, there were some of them that were not.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
But there were still lots of kings and people of different statuses that were gone ahead, put on that boat, mixed up. It did not matter. You're going over there. We're going to put you inside. So now, as we're attaining whatever freedom that we're getting, no matter what our environment is, if we have on shackles or not, because I think Malcolm X can prove to you gaining freedom while being in bondage. He had his freedom while he was in jail. That's when he actually became free. Was when he went to jail, right? So us understanding where our true freedom comes from will then allow for us to right the wrong that our people did, our ancestors did, to be able to put ourselves into that specific type of suffering.
Yeah, and I agree with that. And Ro, I want to hear your answer because we got to take a break. But again, I just want to get the core of I'm asking for the layperson. Like, I didn't have to understand any of what you're talking about to get in the chain. Do I need to understand it to get out? You get what I'm saying? So look, I'm going to attack it after the break. I want to hear what you have to say. Listen, you all are on the green side of things with Sadeek
and Cassiopeia.
We need you to like, comment, and share. We need you to do it right now. Bring a few more people around this lunch table as we continue to discuss freedom versus the dollar and where your mindset is in 2021. We'll see you after the break.
WIFTBP, media's just for you and me. WIFTBP, media's just for you and me.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at The Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at The Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Introducing your trusted source for high-quality Black emojis, better known as Blackmoji. We believe Black is beautiful, and that beauty should be reflected in the digital market. Now there is an app that does just that, starting with Black Greek letter organizations. Blackmoji D9 offers more than an emoji app. It is a cultural experience of Black excellence. Download the app in the Apple or Google Play Store to access a specially curated catalog of emojis representing the Divine Nine. Use the emojis to celebrate Black Week events, acknowledge current events, support social causes, and learn about esteemed Black Week members who blaze the trail of Black history. A portion of every subscription goes toward a scholarship fund specifically for members of Black Greek letter organizations to help keep the legacy alive. Download the Blackmoji app today.
Yeah. Ooh. I miss your kiss. Oh, your kiss is one of a kind. It feels so nice. Girl, you do it right. I miss. Girl, you don't go too fast, you take your time. Just how I miss. Hey, oh, you kiss it, then I'm drifting off your love. Keeps me floating, girl. I miss. your talent should bring you. Hey. Oh, one day is too long. If I can hold you in my arms, if I can find a real good love. That kiss is a drug to me. Baby, your kiss is all I need. Come on. Ooh, it feels so good, baby. Oh, come on. Ooh, babe, I'm missing all those kisses. Baby, bring those lips to me. I miss it already, girl.
It's not ready, girl. I'm missing. Oh, welcome back to the green side of things. It's your man Sadeek and
Cassiopeia.
And we need you to like,
comment,
and share.
That thing.
We need you to do it right now and bring some people into this room and around this lunch table. We are having a great discussion. We appreciate everybody out there on Facebook Live and YouTube Live participating in this conversation. We see you. What's up, Cassie?
Before we get Ro gets to answer his portion of it, I gotta definitely show what Two wrote.
Oh, okay.
Tucson says, I'm with both of y'all, but maybe I'm not fully understanding the question. Without communal self-determination, Black people will continue to be a contagion to wealth. This isn't opinion, it's a scientific design. But maybe I'm not understanding the original contagion. And then Bridget Steele replies and says, contagion? Let me go check my dictionary.
Yeah, shout out to Tucson. You know, he's probably really feeling it today. You know, he read about 16 books this morning, completed them all, including the appendices. So we appreciate the.
You've been in jail before too.
Yeah, we put something on his books. Y'all, two just got out of Facebook jail, so he's out and he is running amongst the population wild. But we appreciate him. So before we went to break, I was asking, in my opinion, a very complex or nuanced question, because I, like too, am in agreement with what both Ro and Cassie have positioned as the ideas that changed, really, the mindset changing will affect your physical reality, is basically what we're all saying, right? It's like whatever you bind in heaven, and keep in mind when the original writers of the scriptures wrote the word heaven, they were not talking about a place in the sky. They were talking about the mind space. They were talking about the Akashic ability to record in the mental space, right? And so when the scripture writers wrote, whatever you bind in heaven will be bound in earth, they were simply saying what you produce in your mind will become your reality.
That's right.
So my question then becomes, but I'm dealing with, and it could just be my conceptualization, right? Before the layperson, right? We say, man, if you got to go through this process to lift yourself out along with us, right? Find somebody familiar with it. Get into this class, right? Do some yoga. Get some, right? We're talking all this stuff. I'm simply saying, when the chains got whipped out, nobody was asked what their spiritual position was. Nobody was like, hey, you know what? If you really don't feel like you need to be a part of this process, you can skip this chain. Right? So
didn't matter your class.
Didn't matter your class. Didn't matter your attitude, your aptitude, your altitude. None of the A's mattered. You was getting on the boat.
Yeah.
So my question to you, Ro, is, yeah, we got to do the individual self-work, but is there a mechanism that will be developed or is developing that will affect the masses the same way the chattel slave chains did?
And I do want to say this, because you had kind of in the break asked me for a little bit of clarity. I absolutely believe that no matter what position that you were, if you were spiritually righteous or if you was super poor and a part of a quote unquote lower class, even if they had that then, you know, everybody has to do the same work to get yourself out or to get the collective out. And everybody individually has to do some work to be able to get themselves into that heaven space so that it shows up on earth so that I can even commune and collect with you so that we can do this as a group.
Love it. Ro, what you think?
Right. Well, I think that 2-5 raises a very important point. But I need him and anybody out there that may have that point to understand is that one don't have to be wrong in order for the other to be right.
Right.
I agree that we have to create a collective environment for prosperity. And I would have us to take a look at what exactly is white privilege. White people have created a heaven for themselves on earth. They've created privileges that give white people an opportunity to prevail.
Woo!
And so what I'm looking to do and what I'm looking for the thought leaders to do is to create an environment where we can create black privilege. But that's not going to happen if we have to move at the pace of the collective consciousness, especially when that consciousness is chasing slavery, chasing racism. We have to begin to diversify as we already are. I am very sensitive to the issues facing our community, which is why I started the work that I started 15, 20 years ago. I'm not new to this, but I understand is that I got to separate the movement from my money. I understand that we're dealing with individuals and people who still have a ways to go to realize their divinity. And I also understand how the environment plays into their inability to realize that. It's hard to be good when everything around you is going wrong.
Yeah.
It's hard to think about being a better father when you can't afford to be a man. So I really get all that. And what I'm looking to do is to have those thought leaders and people who can achieve what Cassie has suggested as the route to self-divinity. What I'm praying is that enough of us will evolve with a big enough heart for our community that we will create an infrastructure and institutionalize the road to salvation.
Yes.
I think we have to stop using words like heaven and hell and really use some words like create a sustainable reality for our people.
Yeah.
A sustainable black man and a sustainable black woman. I want to create a sustainable community. And a sustainable community is not one where other people own all the assets. That's going to lead to the lowest guy on the totem pole never realizing his divinity. Yeah. So I'm just simply saying, I agree with Tucson. I agree. And to answer your question more specifically, we've got to create black privileges that are universal, that will remove the restrictions from our physical and mental slavery in order for us to move forward.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad I asked the question because I think you got to the crux of the answer, right? Which is, because I wrote it down, I love to take notes, that it is upon us to create an infrastructure, right, where we can liberate each other, or the road of freedom has to be institutional. And I think that's the heart of the question that I was getting at, because slavery was institutional.
Absolutely.
And I think it's not either or, but a combination of all, because there's complexities to this, right? And you spoke about it in talking, saying that, how do I become a better father when I can't afford to be a man, right? Inside of this societal structure. But if we're going to be the thought leaders, right? If we're going to talk about moving to a different space, because there was an institutional way to integrate most people into the slave construct, right? There were tangible institutional ways, which is why it was so widely experienced by so many, regardless of where you were in your right? Because there were thought leaders at the head of that mechanism.
Yeah. And again, it also speaks to the time that they put in to
build that,
implement that institution.
Right.
Again, I love bringing up Shaka Zulu because it's so plainly, if you watch that movie as an adult, it so plainly showcases a way of how they did it. And the time that they put in, the sacrifice that they took. In Shaka Zulu, when it first pretty much starts, it shows a white priest on a small boat with a few other sailors.
Right, they were Boers.
I don't know what a Boer is.
Boers were, they were Dutch. There were 38 of them that landed. There were 38 Dutch Boers that landed in today, what's called South Africa. And 350 years later, they displaced millions of Africans and gave birth to the modern state of South Africa.
Right, let's look at that. 350 years later. It didn't happen overnight. People weren't displaced immediately. They lived amongst them. They got familiar. They took the sacrifice. They left their wives at home oftentimes. They lived there for years. They understood the secrets. They passed those secrets down. They traded it until they understood that they might die not seeing the fruit of their labor. That's one of the things that I think we have to start grasping as our people again as well.
This is a relay race.
Yes, it's a relay race. You pass the baton. If our people, if our ancestors who were enslaved were only concerned about seeing freedom for themselves, they would have never been able to actually pass the baton to ensure that we could be in the space that we're in right now. They just did the work that they could do
at that time and had faith. And then when you also reestablish the covenant, because that's to me what this new year is about. That's what Juneteenth is about. It's about reestablishing that covenant that was broken probably about 1,000 years ago. Or more, right? And with that, we understand that African people don't die. There is no energy that is created nor destroyed. Guess what? Your human body is energy. All it does is transform. So if you can come outside of yourself, if you could zoom out and get outside of just it being you, your ego self. If you can get outside of your ego self, then you can start doing the work and let it be. And know that you're planting a seed. Huge lessons. And I think it's the combination of both that Ro brought up. And I really appreciate the fact that while you have the Cassies and the Roes, now there's a building of infrastructure to affect and have an effect on somebody who may not be able to in the moment get where you are, right? But we have, I think, who was it brought up? Was it you, Cassie, that talked about, no, it was Roland talked about having the heart, but you mentioned something similar. Like we have this shared capacity.
Yeah.
And Cassie brought it up earlier in talking about the fact that we have everything that we need. And I truly believe that we have everything that we need. And now it's a matter of the headspace and how we use or how we access what it is that we have, right? Because how you move and how you see, right, is determined by where you are and how your mind or your perception is positioned inside of this reality, right? That's what Roland was talking about. I graduated, right? Or I moved, and we have to have, because you can be at the university, but everybody's not a senior. Everybody's not in grad school, and everybody's not a freshman, right? But there is a movement of the university. And so it's going to take all of us, whether I am super endowed with the ability to transform, transmute, and understand the higher realms of things, or if I'm just trying to exist on a daily basis, I'll get there. but I need that room, like Roland was talking about, afford to be a man, and being a father, right? This complexity at maybe this at this very basic level of existence, right? I'm trying to pay the bills. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to understand where we have a Cassie who has been through those levels, right? I've been a freshman. I've been a sophomore. I've been a junior.
Yeah.
I might have been an extra junior, spent an extra semester
Right,
there, right?
right.
Or super senior,
Super
right?
senior.
Right? Or now I'm in grad school and I'm
Yeah.
understanding, and now we're going to work to build mechanisms or build out mechanisms or institutions that where we can grab each other.
Yeah, and see, the thing is though, it's also, again, I want to say this one more time in regards to not being concerned about the fruit. Just take the journey. Just go through the school. Once you become a senior, mentor a junior behind you, right? Juniors mentor a sophomore behind you. Sophomores mentor a freshman behind you. Grad school person mentor the senior that's behind you. It might not all happen where the freshman, the sophomore, the junior, the senior, and the grad school all do this at the same time. Guess what? Doesn't make sense to, because the freshman doesn't have all the tools needed.
Right.
He or she does not have all the expertise yet. That person has some ways to go, but every person lays a brick. And eventually the building will be built. The institution will be stabilized, and then then another building will be built. And now we have a whole university. This is how civilization is made. It doesn't throw up all at once. And that's the part that I think is so key. Toussaint says, so I'm clear. I agree with y'all, but the white median net worth is the top 1% of black wealth. Those in the median haven't found divinity. They just benefit from the system's design. All I'm saying is that we must design our system, and that it has to be a critical mass of us. Not all of us, but a critical mass of us. But I agree. We are in agreement. Again, this is where I come back to. I completely agree. Are we okay with the fact that we may not see the critical mass happen? But if all of us contribute to the design, it shall come to pass, period. But if we're here for ego, if we're here for awards, if we're here for credit and to say, good, now I see it and it happened, you're going to stress yourself out and actually, I think, perpetuate ourselves backwards than forwards, because we're worried about the wrong thing. The critical mass is coming. Keep working at that thing. Again, he just said it, 350 years. None of those people saw that. The only people that saw it were the people in the last 50 years of that 350. But they have to appreciate the work of the folks.
Of course.
They wouldn't have had that. They wouldn't have been able to experience or see the fruit unless those other 300 years had already put in their blood, sweat, tears, times, and seeds.
Yeah.
So that's I think that part is a major piece for me.
Well, I think it's a major piece, period. And I think the value is having the conversation, because you're going to have people in that space, but we don't want to make you feel. Because everybody, I think, again, going through the freshman, sophomore, whatever you want, like, you have to go through that space. Like, your journey is your journey. So, don't want people to necessarily feel like they're doing something wrong if they're in that space.
No, it's
We're
not
just
wrong.
presenting an alternative space to exist in. Go ahead, Ro.
No, I agree with Cassie. I agree with Toussaint. I agree with everybody. And I want us to all understand that nobody on here has to be wrong in order for this thing to be right.
Absolutely.
I think that in different frames of reference, all of what we are saying works to the end of the solution that we seek. I think that at some point, when I want to clarify, when I say that I've graduated, I recognize that there's racism and things of that nature. I have just decided that that's not where I'm going to dispel the girth of my energy.
Right.
That is a battle that's going to be fought, but if we don't start focusing on an extension of that battle, which means taking control over our neighborhoods and our assets and our politicians. These are things, freedoms, because in a world of capitalism, it's very difficult to be free, free to choose, free to have the power to define when everybody else controls everything else. They control your money flow. They control your housing. They control your movements. Until we can break that shackle, and it's not going to happen overnight. Like Cassie said, it's a relay race. But if some of us, and that's what makes some of us thought leaders, even in slavery, you had a Frederick Douglass, somebody that was able to move beyond the shackles. Even then, you had a Harriet Tubman, somebody that was able to institutionalize the route to freedom that many had conceptualized, some struck by hope and accident, but somebody created an actual route that others was able to follow. And that route wasn't created because they remained in mental captivity. Somebody had to get free in order to free the others. So I'm saying that I've decided that I want to be free. And it ain't no freeing everybody else when I'm a prisoner to my financial situation. I'm a prisoner to somebody else's idea of what I should be doing. I've got to get that free so that I can figure out how to get us free.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
No, you know what, Ro? I really appreciate that. And beyond that, I appreciate your offer to buy Cassie and I lunch due to your found freedom. So I want to acknowledge that in terms of the collective and the ability to build that food mechanism with the community. But I do want to ask a question. We got a couple minutes before we go to break, but I don't want to spend, and I'm curious, and this is really to you, Ro. I'm wondering, because you said, how do we get freedom in capitalism without capital? And I'm wondering if the problem is not the capital, but the problem is capitalism. Is that a possibility? Because it brings me back to the old adage, like they talk about crabs in a barrel, but the problem isn't really the crabs. The problem is the barrel. And so I'm wondering if the very institutions that we are seeking to improve upon, right? We want to be better capitalists. We want to make sure we do have capital to participate in capitalism. Where is the balance between, right? Because the question, the answer may be capitalism is not the problem. So my question is capitalism the issue, right? And let's go to break, and then let's tackle that on the other side of the break.
Can't wait to tackle that.
All right, let's tackle it. You're on the green side of things. It's your man Sadeek.
The Cassiopeia.
We need you to like, comment, and share
that thing.
We need you to do it right now. Bring a few more people back around this lunch table. Join us for the last half hour. We'll see you after this break.
WIIFTBPM.
WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTBP. Media's just for you and me.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out
And then at 3,
ChicagoRadioNetwork.com
no,
for
well,
more
listen.
information.
Then at
Call
3, I have to talk to you, C-Way, man. And then after that, I got to
773-912-3545.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday.
You got to Kennedy King, so you remember Corey Brown?
I definitely remember Corey Brown from Morgan Park.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Murder, man. I got it in with y'all one day before a game, and then y'all literally went out and destroyed some people by about 50 at Kennedy King, and I'll never forget, somebody shot a jumper. It came off long, and Corey will tell this story to this day. He says he went up, and I was in the stands. He went up for the rebound, and before he could jump, he said he felt a foot on his head. And it was you, and you caught it. Classic P-Mac catching it over everybody, putting it back in. He says before he jumped, he felt a foot on his head. And Corey was 6'4", easy.
On his head.
On his head.
Yeah, Corey was 6'4", man. I used to just, I don't know, I had a knack, man. I was always uber athletic. Like I was taught earlier, if somebody shoot, you got to come from the opposite side. I had a guy in my neighborhood named Wayne Irvin, legendary dude to us in our neighborhood. Played at Chicago State, played at Wyoming.
Okay.
Played against Patrick Ewing. He passed away a couple years ago, but went to CVS. He was a decorated player. A lot of people knew him. And he taught me early, like, you attack offensive rebounds from the opposite side. So if somebody shoot from the left wing, you crash from the right. If somebody shoot from the top of the key, you can crash because it can go either way and you can get it. I was so big and athletic. I used to get a lot of tip dunks. Like, for some reason, people never boxed me out. And once I got a running start, if it came off anywhere over the rim and bounced up, you was dead.
This is Eugene McIntosh, one half of the illest independent sports media outlet in the whole entire land, the Bigs. Check me and my player partner Terrence Tomlin, a.k.a. T-Tom the Great, on What's in It for the Black People Media Network.
Looking fabulous, got my necktie matching cufflinks. We so classy. Tell me what you're drinking on. I'll pay this time. Relax, unwind. It's about that time. See if your heart in love like mine. Did it hurt you so bad? Your love's unkind. I wanna see what you're feeling. Don't disguise your feelings. In the name of love, girl, you deserve a man that'll fight for ya, make everything alright for ya. You deserve a man that gave a chance. He wasn't a man. He don't understand that.
Well,
you deserve a man. You deserve a man that'll fight for
Welcome back to the green side of things. It's your man Sadeek
and Cassiopeia.
And listen, for this last half hour, we need you to like and share. We need you to do it right now. I told you, Cassie, I was just gonna talk straight through it. Our guest today is probably the blackest man in Chicago based on behavior. You would not know it. He is a very cultured entrepreneur, but he is definitely from the hood, Mr. Ro Davis.
Listen, every time we was going on and off air, you'd be like, this is your boy, this is your man Sadeek and Cassiopeia. Then
and Ro Davis.
And then I like hear you would be like, you need to like, comment, and he like, right. That's all I'm hearing. And I'm like, what is he saying?
Right. As if you all didn't know, I didn't get to it fast enough. It's Ro Davis. Inserting himself.
Be left behind. Shit. What you want me to do?
Inserting himself into the salutation. Into the salutation.
Bro, I had to throw myself in.
Ro, I'm gonna buy you a mic.
That's what I need because I feel so underprivileged. Y'all
Yeah.
got all that color. You got headphones on.
Well, let's
You got
look.
a t-shirt on.
Now look. Let's be clear.
Hey, look.
This
wait.
is
My
exactly.
business.
This is exactly what they mean when they say if you give a Negro a rope, they will become a cowboy. Now, Ro's first show, he couldn't even work the software, and he was trying to figure out if his microphone worked. He didn't say nothing. This is Ro's third show, and now this brother is now the co-host / producer. He want naming rights. He trying to figure out how to get his wall painted. You understand? You can't have Ro as a guest no more. Ro is officially the third co-host of the Green Side of Things.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
Welcome to the staff, Ro.
Thank you. Well, ask your question again. I've been checking this crypto and got distracted. Tell me what your question was. 'Cause I had a good answer.
Okay. Well, I want you. I didn't bring that up because I'm a few hundred down, so I'm gonna leave that alone. I don't want to get charged right now. I checked my uphold before I came in here. I was like, I got some words for Ro. I invested in everything you told me, but you know what?
Save it for another show.
Yeah, for another show. But my investment mind kicked in, and when everything went down, I bought some more.
There you go.
So I just want to say that your teachings have not been in vain, and I'm trying to free myself like you and Cassie, as you all are in graduate school, and I'm messing around here as a sophomore.
Come on,
but I'm working on myself.
And I just want y'all to know, because for today, I just changed it. So Ro Davis is lower
Thank you. I
third.
saw it pop right up.
What does this say? Oh, look at that. Look at that. All right, now you're gonna have to change your background, Ro.
How did y'all do it?
That's another story. Don't worry about that. So listen, here was my question, and we want to thank everybody out there, Facebook Live and YouTube. We appreciate you for joining the conversation, including our super producer Ron, who is in the booth. Ron takes care of us each and every Tuesday and Thursday of every week. And we want to make sure that we acknowledge that and the Wiftaba audience.
Woo, woo, woo.
So that being said, before the break, you made a statement. You said it's hard, right, to be inside of capitalism without capital, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I would agree with. I mean, that makes absolute sense. But my question would be, is the problem our participation in capitalism, or is the problem capitalism? And I asked that question from the viewpoint of, we talk about this saying, right? Like people can be crabs in a barrel, but very rarely do we talk about the problem from the standpoint of it's not the crabs that are issue. It's actually the barrel, because the barrel is an unnatural situation presented to the crabs. So is the problem our lack of participation, understanding, being held back inside of capitalism, or is the problem capitalism?
That's a very, very profound question. And let me say this. If the problem could very well be capitalism. But even if the problem is capitalism, it's not a problem that we're going to fix in our generation, in our lifetime. In other words, if the problem is the barrel, we in the barrel. We ain't gonna fix the problem in the barrel. What we gotta be, because the barrel is broke, we gotta figure out how to take that broke barrel and use it, and use what we can create within it to get the hell out of it, and then come back around. So it's a matter of priority. I don't want to define the issue as the barrel right now. We can conceptualize that, but the barrel is such a definitive place that we may very well look at it and never focus on how the hell we get out of here. The question is, how the hell do we get out of here? Capitalism, socialism, whatever it is, how do we maximize our involvement in it? So I want to focus our issues on the true issue, because no matter where we are, we could be living a better life. And I think that better life comes on the end of privileges that white people are not going to share with us. They're not going to give, in my opinion, because if I had white privilege, I wouldn't be trying to give some of it away. I would be trying to hold on to it and fighting with it for it with every breath that I have, just like they're doing. Nobody's going to give us the privilege to overtake them. However, as Black people and as thought leaders, we can take the things that are God's gift to us and we can use it in support and defense of our people. And that is what I'm saying. I don't disagree that capitalism has this issue.
And I appreciate your answer. And I think where I want to go with that and provide a bit of pushback. And again, I think that pushback, not in the sense of disagreement, but pushback in the sense of forwarding the conversation. Because there are many who would maintain that the very design of the barrel will allow the crab at the top to say, hey, y'all, let's get out of the barrel, and for a better way to assess our position. But the crabs in the middle and at the bottom, right, the very design of the barrel is to have that carrot dangling in terms of, hey, if we can just get a firm footing outside of the barrel, we can better assess our situation. And so I'm asking if the very nature of capitalism is to present that option and give the illusion of escape and reassessment, while all the while containing the crabs in the barrel based on their own interactions and viewpoint of the barrel itself.
So I get your point. Very profound, question. What I would say to that is, at the end of the day, capitalism is about winners and losers. And really, on many levels, no matter if you're Black or white, your freedoms begin to diminish in capitalism when you broke. The same things, I'm not saying that broke white people may not have it as bad as broke Black people, because they are certainly
I
living.
love this example. I'm sorry. I love this example.
Privilege of what other white people who've been able to get out the barrel or construct the barrel have created for them. And, that's there. All I'm saying to you is, I don't want to get too deep into pontificating about the structure of the barrel that I don't spend some of my energy focused on how the hell we get out. Our reality will shift when enough of us get out this barrel and we can stand. It's just like Elon Musk. See, when you got enough money.
Is that Elon's brother?
No, he ain't a brother, but he's one of the wealthiest white people in the world.
Is that Eli or Elon?
Elon.
Oh,
Whatever.
I thought Eli. I didn't know if
Manning.
Eli was his brother.
Oh, no.
I thought you said Elon Musk was Elon's brother.
Elon Musk, you know why Elon Musk is trying to figure out how to repopulate the moon and Mars?
Because he destroyed this planet.
No, because he ain't worried about the money and the shit on this planet.
No, that's exactly why he's trying to repopulate the other planet, because he jacked
It
this
ain't
one up.
nothing else to conquer on Earth. It ain't nothing else to conquer on Earth. I'm not saying that all of those other things, but I'm saying, as bad as the planet is, I ain't got time to worry about what they doing on Mars when I'm watching for the boot man and the repo man right here.
Well, I'm gonna provide a little pushback on that, because I hear you. His time is so free and he ain't got nothing else to conquer. But I've been in the secret meeting, and I'm finna tell you why Elon Musk and the rest of them is looking for life on Mars.
Listen, if you've been in the secret meeting,
they trying to get away.
There's a problem.
They trying to get away from the planet they destroyed, and they know that in about 25 years, there are going to be several dead zones, and there's going to be an oxygen-deprived situation, and they're trying to create a way to get away from it. But that's a whole other conversation that we're not privy to. So it ain't just his mind is in the heaven, and he's like, oh, what can I do on Mars?
I think it's both and.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's both.
The person, though, let's say that your argument is true, and I agree with that. I can see where that could be a reality. But I tell you, who's focused on it ain't the poor white person that's focused on going to Mars. It's the one that eliminated all the issues in the barrel that can talk about the hell putting us, creating a new barrel where we can all live in.
Well, I'm telling you, I want him to go.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm trying to help him.
So, right, I'm with you, Ro, in regards to not focusing on, not pontificating on the structure of the barrel, but how we're going to get out of it. And again, I was actually smiling because, again, right, this is going to be my mantra.
You were smiling again?
Yes. My new mantra is just going to be constantly, it all leads back to self. Who gives a crap about if they run capitalism? Don't mean that you got to be a capitalist. Money is just an instrument of exchange, which is something that has been used since civilization has begun. We don't have to participate in it exchanging it for you or me to be a winner. We can exchange it for the purposes of us having what we need so that we can clothe and feed ourselves.
So you're actually redefining it. Well, for the purposes
of going against capitalism.
No, I'm not talking about going against it.
Sure,
I'm saying you're redefining it.
I don't think it's a redefinition. It's always existed. It existed before capitalism became this form of monetary exchange.
Right, but we're still in a capitalist system. And
but
so
you
what you're
don't
saying,
have to
but that's
do
my
that.
point. And you're saying there's a redefinition to it and not participating in what the current capitalist definition is.
So
you can augment it, you can change it. You don't have to participate in it the way.
No. I don't have to be a capitalist, period. I don't have to redefine capitalism. Capitalism can go on for however long the people that participate in it wants it to go on. I'm going to practice trade.
So you don't practice capitalism?
No, I have no interest, nor do I try to attain dollars in order to keep somebody else down.
Do you pay taxes?
Now, the only thing that
do you pay taxes?
So that
it's
part
a fair
of it,
question.
I don't have to.
So you do participate
don't
in
have
capitalism.
to be a capitalist.
I didn't say you had to be.
So,
but you participate in capitalism.
So as a taxpayer, it does fund capitalism.
So how do you? So you participate in capitalism.
So then we're talking about two different things.
No,
because
we're not.
So what you're talking about then is the destruction. You're
in,
talking about the destruction of capitalism.
No, I'm not.
I didn't
say destroy capitalism.
Who cares? Who cares if
I asked the question.
So I'll wait till you finish, and then I'll say my piece, and hopefully I'll be able to finish.
You can finish. Go ahead.
So what I'm stating is, who cares about that part of it? It can be funded. It can continue on. I might at this particular juncture, because I am a citizen of America, portions of the dollars that are taken from me every year are used for capitalism, does not mean that I have to be a capitalist in the regard of what Ro was talking about. I'm not focused on that. I am focused on how I'm going to contribute and what I'm going to do with the resources and the tools that I have, and then bring other people with me that want to participate with me so that we can exchange money how we want to exchange money.
You're not a capitalist.
I'm not a capitalist.
Okay, I just want to be clear. Ro, are you a capitalist?
Yeah, I'm a capitalist.
Okay, so
You know,
okay,
yeah,
great. So you all are saying
absolutely.
two different
But
things. I just want to get to
No,
the.
he's,
Yes.
he's
I
okay with
don't
being a
think Cassie.
capitalist.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't
But
think
we're
that
not saying those are two different
Cassie
things.
is saying.
Yeah, that's two different things.
I
Go
want to
ahead,
put words
bro.
in Cassie's mouth, but Cassie is making a distinction that I don't think that you're clear of. Of course, Cassie participates in capitalism because she lives in the environment. But what she's saying is that she's in it, but not of it. I think.
There we go.
I don't know.
Well,
That's
no. And I
That's
think that
it.
we
He
have to
has
be.
to
I think that we have
participate.
to be clear because there are people watching, and so
Absolutely.
let's be
Okay.
clear that I'm clear. But my job here is not to be clear or simply to debate. I'm not trying to have a debate because I'm not a capitalist either. So that's not my point at all. My point is inside of the audience, you can say, so for instance, I was having a conversation. I have a friend that is a Palestinian, and he was genuinely having a conversation about how Israel treats Palestine in the modern construct of the relationship. But he is a Palestinian business owner. And I had to bring out a point to him that he had never considered because he was up, he actually did part of the protest. There was a protest downtown Chicago towards how Palestinians were being treated. And I simply asked him, because we all talk about the package of aid that the United States gives to Israel. We talk about the military aid that the United States gives to Israel, and he's a business owner. And I said to him, had you merely considered the fact that your taxes actually pay for part of the destruction of your own people? And he, hold on, and he said, no, I hadn't. And so the reason I bring that out is because, right, there are nuances and there are parts of the conversation that I may be clear, but there are people watching this. There are 30, 40 people live right now. And you can say, yes, I'm not a capitalist. You can say it's all self-work. You can say I graduate. So I'm merely trying to bring the conversation back to somebody who may say, but okay, how do you, there's a mindset. I really want to be in Cassie's mindset, right? Because it's beautiful. We work toward that. Roland's mindset, Roll's mindset. But I pay taxes. I'm in this. How do I somewhat, like you said, I don't think you used by force, but you were alluding to the fact that they come grab.
Money's taken from.
Money's taken. So, yeah, that's liberating to know, right, that I can pay taxes, have this money drawn from me, but I don't have to mentally participate in all the structures that, and that's what I'm trying to bring the conversation back to. This is not you know what I mean? I'm trying to disagree. Like, we have a responsibility, I think, as a show and as a mechanism to address all parts and all questions of the conversation that may come up for people as they're seeking, to really, because as thought leaders, which I said in the beginning of the show, as thought leaders and people who really understand how to limit distractions, turn your ringers off, as people who participate in the largesse of the conversation, right? Because you two are at the top of the largesse of the conversation. The average person may not be at the largesse of the conversation, or I don't want to say average. The person who, I don't want to.
There just might be some people that aren't aware.
There just might be some people that aren't aware. So we just want to give them the ladder rungs, so that, or we want to give them the pieces so that they can, because we all have to put it together for ourselves, right? So I don't want to skip over steps or do that just for the sake of it's an agreement versus a disagreement, right? There are all kinds of people listening.
I don't care about any of that. We can disagree. I'm okay with that. It's okay to disagree too.
But this isn't about agreeing or being okay to disagree. I'm just talking about bringing it back here so people can put
I get you. You're just trying to create something that people can follow.
So I guess to me that point was just is being pushed a lot, and it's okay. Like, I also think it's okay for us to be okay with disagreeing. There is growth in that. This is where you discover, if everybody is saying the exact same thing the whole time, then, it's hard for us to discover, change, and grow. So moving past that piece, though, again, Ro was talking about not focusing on the structure, and that's a part of that structure. The fact is we are inside of this barrel. But what are the things that we can contribute to get outside of the barrel? And me not participating in the construct of or the philosophy and of capitalism is where my focus necessarily lies. And an alternative to the Palestinian brother that you had a conversation with, sure, he is an American citizen, right, that is a business owner, and even if he wasn't a business owner, still pays taxes towards the quote-unquote destruction of his people,
Right.
or the aid of Israel, right? So we can look at that from two different lenses, right? Aiding Israel is maybe the destruction of Palestinians is a byproduct of aiding Israel, right? So there's lenses of that. But something else that he can do is just help his people himself. And I think that's the type of thing that Ro and I are speaking of, is that self-determination that says, even though this thing is going on, there are things that I can do myself and I can do with others to make our situation better, because you can then pick your battles. We can either try to hack this barrel down if we want to and spend energy there, and there are going to be people who do that, and then you're going to have the other people who are going to be spending energy on, okay, as crabs we can link ourselves and climb up out of here. Now some things might end up happening simultaneously, and it's perfect because you have the people who are hacking it down and the people who are also climbing out, so then there's this big whoosh that happens at the same time. Toussaint actually alluded to that earlier in the conversation, that the barrel is destroying itself. It's not quite destroying itself. It's because there's a contribution in so many different ways and different tactics that are being used for this barrel to come apart.
Yeah, I just think we have to be aware of all those facets, and we have to be careful when we discount the other facets. So
we're careful.
So
just add in what you think is missing.
I mean,
it's not necessarily anybody not being careful. It's the fact that, hey, this is the part that I want to contribute.
Like I said, I just think I think it's all of those. Yeah, go ahead, please. We got a couple minutes, but go ahead.
What Cassie is saying is what I'm suggesting. We have to pick and choose our battles in life. And in life, we're all in search of a point of view that gives us access to our best selves and gives us the ability to maximize the talents and skills that we have. And I think, it's kind of like a deck, playing the game of spades. Sometimes you get a bad hand. But I have been in the game of spades and took a bad hand and won the game because I played every card carefully and properly. That's our only hope, is to play this game properly, master the fundamentals, so that we can catch the other side slipping and get a leg up. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Play your hand.
Okay.
Play to win.
Play your hand.
You're saying take your hand and play to win.
Play to win.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, chasing racism, and I'm not saying that there isn't a part of our community, they're going to do that anyway. But some of us got to chase enough wealth so that when we get done with racism, there's somewhere for us to hang our hat. There it is.
I'll work with that, and we're actually over. We gotta get out of here. But
all right.
But I appreciate.
I'm sorry.
You okay? Did you swallow a fly? Or something?
I need some water.
Oh, she needs some water. Okay, we go get Cassie some water. But I just let me say this: it's been a powerful show. I want to thank you, Ro, our new co-host.
Thank you.
You relieved of duty on Thursday, so don't worry about it. We're just bringing Cassie back. Cassie, it's a pleasure having you. I love the fact that we dig into this, and I just want to say that steel sharpens steel, and it's a pleasure to sit across the table from you. Ro, it's the same thing. We're gonna dig into this some more. The Green Side audience, we appreciate you. We love you. YouTube, Facebook Live. Catch us on Thursday. We're going to talk about Exterminate All the Brutes. We're going to have Toussaint Warner with us and a special guest that's going to be live. We're not going to tell you who the sister is, but we'll have her on Thursday. And as we always end the show and say on the Green Side, we'll see you later and peace.